Now, today's guest is part of one of the most famous families in the world, starring in Keeping Up with the Kardashians since 2007. But Caitlyn Jenner, then known as Bruce, was secretly fighting a private battle, struggling with her identity and her desire to live as the woman she was inside. So when Caitlyn took part in I'm A Celebrity last year, it was her chance to show everyone the real her.
Caitlyn's here.
Let's go, team!
Doing in! We got one meal!
I would play, but I spent
A lot of money on that
way
surgery,
too much money on this face.
Yeah! That's how you do it! Come on!
What do they call you now? Do they call you...
My kids all call me Dad.
Do they?
Yeah.
It looks like a leg!
What I got left over is more than most people ever had.
I just want to get out of here.
She's here, please. Welcome back to Loose Women, Caitlyn Jenner.
Good to see you again.
Lovely
Good
to see you.
Yeah, really lovely to see you.
Well, thank you.
Can I just say, well bloomin' done on that show. You were amazing.
I survived.
You did.
By the way, I'm excited to be here because I already jacked one of your cups
Mugs.
to take it home.
Did you?
Yes, in the back. I said, I need one, you know, and so they brought one out.
Help
And they
yourself.
got another one right here.
Good,
Yes.
good.
Well, you put it in place in your beautiful home in Malibu that I was looking online.
Yeah,
So the next time they film, we can see our loose woman cup.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
I will do that. And because I have another one, it says BU on it.
Uh-huh.
And I thought, loose women, it's
I like
perfect.
that. I
Do you
like
know,
that.
in the jungle, I mean, I love the jungle and I watch it every night. I really felt that I got to know you.
Yeah.
Because prior to that, I've been reading magazines and reading newspaper reports. But
Well, that's
it
true.
was very revealing and actually very admirable, I thought. It was great.
Well, honestly, that was one of the reasons I wanted to do it, because I did the U.S. version 16 years earlier. And Bruce somehow survived, and
Yes.
I want to see if Caitlyn did. And I think it's also very important that kind of the gender nonconforming world or the trans world, whatever you want to look at it, we're not hiding. We're not going to, you know, I'm out there. I'm going to live a life. I want other people to see that I have a
Absolutely,
life.
And that you
that
also
life
have
is
a
good.
sense of humour, Caitlyn,
Yeah.
as well. I mean,
Oh, I know.
You know, without going into it, we love that thing about when you were talking about when you were doing a wee and how it was much more fun back in the old back.
Oh, yes, that's so true. But yeah, I mean, honestly,
It was such great fun.
honestly, all I wanted to do is get out of there and not talk like everybody else, okay? The accents, I mean, when Andy came into the camp, he came late, like 4 days late. And, I mean, his accent was...
Broad Lancashire accent.
It's bad enough I got to wear hearing aids, but I had to turn up the volume, and I have to, like, concentrate when he started talking. I'm listening, I'm trying to catch the words and what's he actually saying. But actually, it was very funny because there were other things that happened in there. Like we were doing one of those dingo dollar trials or whatever with James, and we're in this house, and they're throwing junk on us and ants and everything. And he's yelling for me to get the cincher.
The cincher.
Get the cincher.
Yeah, cincher.
what does that
and I'm
even
going,
mean?
what? I'm looking all over the place trying to find the cincher. And finally, after he's yelling at me about this, he points over there, and it was the adjustable wrench.
Oh.
And they call it a cincher.
Well, I've never
I
heard
was-
that.
That's James's word, isn't it? Because even we don't know that one.
Yeah, I know. I was really surprised. The other one was, you know, after you had the trial, then they asked you some stupid question, you know, I mean. And
How was that for you, kind of
I know.
question, yes.
They ask you these questions, you know, like, you know, we surveyed an adult audience and they asked the question. And of course, was it A, like 51%, or B, 49%? It's like, how do you know? It's just, it's just like a guess. And we got a lot of them wrong. One we got right.
At any time, did you think to yourself, what am I doing here?
Oh, many times.
Well, you struggled
Actually,
on
the
the
first night-
didn't you?
Yeah, the first night was the worst night because I had been there before. And I remember being there. And it wasn't what I would consider a good experience. I mean, it was a good for the soul, but the people in the camp, the U.S. version, 5 people probably knew what they were getting into, and 5 people, because they'd never seen this show, had no idea. And when they're there and they're seeing all this stuff, they were not happy. So it was tough to be in that environment and it was only 14 days. First night I'm there, I woke up in the middle of the night and we had lost our first trial. So we were in the losers camp, sleeping on the ground. And I wake up and I start looking around and, there's 2 little lights. And I'm looking around into the jungle and I'm going, I've been here before. And this time, it's not 14 days. It's, if you make it to the end, 23 days.
I know.
Yeah, big difference.
But you've had a great
Big,
reaction,
huge
though, haven't
difference.
you, Caitlyn?
I started crying, got
You've
upset.
had a great reaction generally to the fact that you were so exposed and you were so real and you were so new. And as you say, for a lot of people who don't know any trans people,
Right.
you brought it to a wider audience. Are you glad that you did it, or the family glad that you did it?
Oh, yeah, no, definitely. I'm very glad I did it. It was a great experience. It's kind of tough to leave your whole life behind for a month because literally you get there.
Well, especially the house
from
you
the
live in.
airport on the way to the hotel, and you still got 4 days before you go in the jungle, and they take all your devices away.
Yeah.
So it
Was there a pressure on you to do that? You know, the famous shower scene that so many people have become famous from,
Yeah.
people that we didn't know that well in this country have done this shower scene. Was there pressure on you to do that? To take everything off?
You have no idea the anxiety I've gone through to wear a bathing suit, okay?
I can
You
imagine.
know, that was like the biggest. I did it first on the show, I Am Kate, and it was like I was scared to death. Anyway, but
The girls
That's what it is that
because, yeah, I didn't want them. It's funny, when you go in, they give you these, do's and don'ts,
and
what you
don'ts.
can do and
Yeah.
can't do, and this and that. And they said, there's no swearing, no this, no that, but nudity's okay. And I'm going, wait a second, I can't swear, but I can walk around with no
Yeah.
clothes on? Doesn't seem right. And to be honest with you, I knew they wanted to get some kind of shot of something like that.
Yeah. Well,
And I wasn't about to give it to them.
Absolutely. Well
Yeah,
done,
I wasn't
you.
about that. They're private moments. And I wasn't about to give them that shot.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
And what I love is how protective everyone was of you as well. Because didn't the girls hold up towels and things?
Yes, they
so that
did.
You, you
I think it was Nadine and Kate.
Yeah.
I said, you guys get down there. I said, we had these big towels and everything. And I said, hold those things up. Because I had just done this trial with Roman, which was the grossest, ugliest. We were on this big disco record and we're strapped down.
Yeah.
And they
Remember
had
that.
all
watched
that stuff.
It was
it was
nasty.
gross.
Intestines coming down on us and everything and bugs and it was just
You needed a
horrible.
wash.
Yeah.
You needed a wash.
Of course, they don't let you clean up there.
Sure.
You have to go all the way back to the camp. So by the time you get back to the camp, my hair was like hard as a rock.
Yeah.
And the showers are obviously cold
Yeah,
water.
freezing cold.
And not a lot of shower. I mean, it's just a lot of water. But
Can I ask you? You've mentioned before in previous interviews and that sort of thing that when you won your Olympic medal as Bruce, you stood and looked at yourself in the mirror and thought, have I now built myself up this body that I will never be anything other than this? And the moment when you did that infamous Vanity Fair shoot
Right.
was the first time that you felt that you looked in the mirror and thought, this is me. That's
Yeah.
what I
Great
look
shot.
like. That's who
Yeah.
I am.
No, it's been anybody who suffers from. Yeah, baby.
How did you feel when you saw that shot?
I loved it. I had for all my life, especially over the last 20 years, had every horrible article written about me. For 2 or 3 years before that, they were doing everything. They were putting my head on women's bodies. I never talked to the media. I never talked to anybody. I would have 4 cars, paparazzis following me everywhere I went. My life was really miserable. And so Diane Sawyer stopped it. although it was Bruce doing the interview. And 2 months later was Vanity Fair. And I remember doing the shoot. Annie Leibovitz was doing the shoot. It was at my house, and it still wasn't out, so we had enormous security. So nobody would know what was going on. And we took my garage and made a studio out of it. And Annie said at one shot I had this long gown on, because I had never had hair or makeup or anybody to do anything. I did it all myself all my life. And she puts a mirror in behind where she was shooting. And I looked in the mirror and I said, oh my God, it's like the first time I ever saw myself.
That's amazing. Wow.
This was so cool. And, but yes, going back to when you said earlier, 40 years earlier, after the games, honestly, you look back on it, and I'm so thankful for my life and everything that I've been through. Back in the 50s and 60s and 70s growing up, there was not even the word trans. It was, it was, you didn't even know what it was. You just, you had these feelings and you keep your mouth shut and move on. But I always had it.
Do you
You
remember
go to the
first
games
time?
and win. What?
Do you remember the first time that you had that feeling?
Oh, I was like a little baby. I would sneak into my mom's closet as a little kid and stuff, things like that. I always did that.
Wow.
And then after the games were over with, the next morning, you just won the games, and this and that. And I walk into the bathroom and the medal's on the counter, and I pick it up and don't have a stitch of clothes on, put it on, full-length mirror, look at it and said, oh my God, what have I just done? Have I built this character up so big that I'm stuck with him for the rest of my life? Because I never felt it was me. And even for years and years and years and years, and still do, but years, I gave speeches. And I would be up there giving a speech, talking about the games and winning and losing and this, and thinking, they know nothing. I don't want to be defined for 24 hours, 48 hours in my life. And that's all anybody wants to talk about is that time. There's so much more to me than those 2 days,
I don't know, obviously, whether you've been transatlantic and obviously you've been in the jungle and been busy, but have you heard we've had a little bit of a problem over here with the royal family to do with Harry and Meghan? I know you lead a busy life and everything, but I don't know if you're up to speed with what's happening in that they're thinking of moving stateside or maybe Canada. What are your thoughts on that? How do you think they're going to get on?
Well, I don't know. I can't predict because I've tried to raise our royal family in the U.S., my kids. And so I think it would be very difficult from an outsider, Meghan's case, being especially from the U.S., to come into the royal family. I mean, Harry kind of grew up in all this sort of stuff, and so he's kind of used to it. I think it was a big shock to her, probably, and probably had enough. And now what do you do? And I think probably Harry said, you know what, let's go someplace else. And good for him. And we'll see how it goes.
Do you think they'll be welcomed a lot in whether it's America or Canada?
Yeah, I heard they were looking for a house in Malibu.
Oh, hey, next
Now, there's a million rumors,
To do what? Keeping up with the Sussexes?
That's exactly it. And I'm thinking, okay, they moved down the street, Meghan and Harry, they'd be fun. We see them at the grocery store and all that kind of stuff. But no, I think it's
But you
tough.
think good on them for what they've what they've done? Because talking about the royal family, that is a tough family to move into, and no matter how much fame Meghan had as an actress, it's completely different.
No, it's not even
to the
close.
restrictions
Yes,
on you
and
within
the
that
restrictions
family.
and this and that can wear on you. Good for them. Everybody just deserves to be happy. And,
Yeah, because
I
you talk
hope
about
they're
living your
happy.
life now.
Yeah.
Really.
I just want them, I hope they find happiness. Obviously, they found happiness together. And
Just
now
invite
in the
them
real
round for a cup
world.
of tea. It'll all be good.
Yeah.
It'll all be good.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, tonight is a big night for us. And obviously for you, because
Yeah.
you're going to be coming along to the NTAs as well, aren't you?
I'm presenting something. I don't even know.
No, you'll just
presenting?
find out when you
Yeah.
get there.
What are you
Hopefully
wearing?
it'll be...
See, everybody talks. See, that was never a problem before.
no one cares.
What are you wearing?
Well, we are going to be getting red carpet ready. It takes us a lot longer than it used to. But very importantly, we need to be thinking about our packed lunch because it's a long evening and we get hungry. So Stacey is normally in charge of our packed lunches.
Oh,
so
very
we're
good.
literally going live to Stacey's house. Oh, God, love you. You're making our sandwiches.
Hello, babe.
The sandwiches are getting bigger and better this year, Andrea.
Look at the size of the
Anything
bread.
you want.
Anything.
You know, I'll make it.
Well, Caitlyn, you want turkey?
Turkey sounds good. You got that?
Yeah?
Yes!
Yes.
I'll find the turkey. Don't you worry.
Good.
They
look like doorsteps.
Oh, there you go.
Do you like Marmite?
I love it.
Oh, do you know that is a fact? You only love it or hate it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Except Carol,
One or
if
the
it's
other.
Mark who says it's all right.
I've been in the jungle
You
eating
love anything.
cow's eyeball.
Oh.
Anything sounds good.
Okay. What are our other options there, Stace? What have we got?
We've got peanut butter jelly.
Nice.
We're switching things up as well. We can go crumpet or pita bread. I mean, the world's
I'll have crumpet, please, babe, with some jam. That'd be lovely. Thanks. Yes, thanks.
Brilliant.
But I think people would be surprised to know that actually we do this.
We do this.
Actually
This
bring
isn't
it in the handbag.
pretend at all. Because Stacey, you were the one that started all this, weren't you? Bringing a little rucksack with you, and literally we were sitting down and the rucksack zip.
Well, we have
out
to leave
came
about
the
4
sandwiches.
o'clock or something
You do. We have to be
ridiculous,
here
don't
at
we?
4.
Yeah, and it's
They're
a long
not
day.
dinner. They're not dinner happy dinner. It doesn't matter where you are or what you're doing. So you've got to bring provisions. You can be there for hours.
That is true. Thank you, Stacey. And
See you later.
obviously, we're going to leave you to not just make our sandwiches, but to get, red carpet
Can
ready.
we have a row of crisps, please, pinned onto a rail?
Oh, that would be nice. So pass them along the row. Thanks,
Have
Stacey.
a cupboard where she hangs her potato chips. She's that organised. She is that organised. She has a curtain rail and she's been out to get little things from the hardware shop and she hangs her potato chips on different
Not
bags.
literally one
When
by one,
I was
the
in the
bags.
jungle,
Yeah.
we had these trials, and then we had the question, and if we won the question, when they came back,
right.
they had a treat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay? So one time they come back, and we had won, and it's a wooden plate with a cover on it. And they come walking down, and this and that, and they said they had choices of what to get for the treat, and they decided to do crisps. Now, I don't know what a crisp
I know,
is.
it's what the chip.
Okay, so in my head, I'm thinking,
What
what's
is
a
it?
crisp? Is it a little candy? A crispy little candy or something? And then finally, because it had a top on it, finally they take the top off, and it was potato chips. And I said, wait a second, this is... And I tried to convince everybody that
Yeah.
the potato chips are not crisps.
Of course.
And you never
Yeah.
got enough. That was the thing that
Well,
you'd
yeah.
be literally licking it and having a tiny bit at a time.
Here's the deal. So now we try to count how many chips we
my
have in there,
word.
because of course the Brits, they want to do everything fairly, and so everybody winds up
Have you
getting
heard
like
about Brexit?
4 chips. Yes, we wind up getting 4 chips. So everybody eats their chips, and of course there's always one.
What?
Now, and nobody's going to take that one. Everybody's looking at it and says, who is going to be the selfish one and take that last one?
In 10 seconds, I want to know who.
The ugly American.
Caitlyn, thank you so much today, and we'll see you tonight. We'll see you at the NTA.